Metal Claw is here! How are my metal brothers and sisters doing today? The Metal Claw is back, and we are going to review new Metallica 72 Seasons. So people, Metallica give us 72 Seasons, their latest album release since the 2016 Hardwired to Self-Destruct. So people, let's get into this review. And the first thing the Metal Claw noticed when listening to 72 Seasons is the production and the sound of this album. Now, as you would expect from a Metallica album, the production is top end. It sounds fantastic. However, for me, for a band featuring two guitars, the sound is just a little bit weak, a little bit polished for my liking. I prefer a chunkier, rawer sound on the guitar, and I really feel there are elements in this album that really could have taken advantage of a heavier, chunkier sound. Keep me inside, my name is suicide. The second thing I must comment on is Hetfield's vocal performance. Now, on the whole, I think he did an awesome job. However, over the years, his vocals have changed in style. From the sort of snarly, screechy early Hetfield, his vocals have become more sung and more mellow. And I think this, in combination with the lighter guitar sound, whether it's intentional or not, gives a more accessible sound. Before we delve into the track-by-track listing, let's discuss the artwork of this album. Now, on the whole, the concept of the album 72 Seasons refers to the first 18 years of your life and the influence that your parents and your surroundings and that have on you in your formative years of becoming a person. For me, this is a really cool and interesting idea. So excited, this crowd above. The album cover focuses on a cot in the centre with the bars broken and exploded around it are different items which are meant to symbolise different elements and different influences in the first 18 years of your life, which again form you as a person and an individual. This concept really cool and I like it. However, I am definitely a fan of the old school thrash metal artwork where it's gnarly, it's gruesome, it's in your face, and I feel this just falls slightly short. Paint your eyes as black as sorrow. Hide yourself behind tomorrow. Nightmares search for infiltration, domination, captivation.
Please say hello to Robert Trujillo, Kirk Hammett, James Hetfield, and Lars Ulrich. Here they are, Metallica.
So people, this album begins with a self-titled 72 Seasons. The song itself builds and builds until it drops in with a thrashy, fast-paced riff, which then transitions into a more melodic, chunkier riff, which serves as the main riff for the song. I absolutely love both portions of this song. Awesome. I will criticise, however, the riff pre-chorus, as I mentioned with the guitar sound, would benefit from a rawer, chunkier sound on those guitars. However, on the whole, I really enjoyed this. I love the way post-chorus it drops back into that thrashy, fast-paced riff. Awesome. Great opener to the album. Violence, inheritance, the second track of 72 Seasons is Shadows Follow. Now this begins with chops on Lars's drums that then build and kick in with a very nice chunky thrashy riff, which I really enjoy. This serves as the main riff throughout this song. However, I do have to criticise the chorus where the drums are building and Hetfield is singing mellow vocals over the top of it. I'm really not a fan of that section of the song. But then he sings, "There my shadows follow," and then it kicks back in with that riff, and I like that section. Just the section before that, not a fan. I feel the middle section of the song has a really quite heavy riff, which really, again, could have benefited from a heavier, rawer guitar sound. On the whole, a solid second song, but some elements of it that I'm not the biggest fan of. Track 3, Screaming Suicide. The Metal Claw previously reacted to this song when it was first released, and my opinion has not changed since. I feel it's a good song, but not amazing. There are elements in it that I feel could be improved, could be much better. I'm not a fan of the mellowed vocals leading up to the chorus. Not for me. I also feel the main riff, although I enjoy it, it's good. It most definitely could benefit from some double kick, I think, from Lars, just to make it that little bit more edgy, a little bit heavier, give it that little bit of pace that's needed to carry the riff a little bit more. However, Lars, or never renowned as the most technical drummer within his peer group, is he Dave Lombardo? However, the song on the whole, good. Track 4 brings a Sleepwalk My Life Away, and for the Metal Claw, I feel this would not be out of place on Load or Reload. For me, it's okay. It feels very generic, the song, however, and that also leads into the guitar solo. I feel it's very much lead guitar by numbers. Guitar players out there, please correct me if I'm wrong, but it feels like a very generic solo. The one element that I do really enjoy though in this song is the leading up to the chorus, and in the chorus I think Hetfield absolutely nails the vocals. The sung bits where he's holding the note out, really, really cool. However, I just feel the riffs in the song are good. I just feel like it goes nowhere. It's okay. I enjoyed it. Not a classic.
Wake me, caught in the spell I'm dreaming. Wake me, day after day repeating. Wake me, sleepwalk my life away.
5 brings us You Must Burn. However, it's more of a warm sensation than a burn. In my opinion, this track picks up exactly where Sleepwalk My Life Away left off, with a slow, melodic, generic riff just trudging its way through the song. And I feel that any momentum the previous songs at the start of the album really built well has been lost at this point in the album. However, the saving light in this song is Hetfield's vocals. I think his vocal performance on this song is probably one of my favourite in the album. And when he's holding out You Must Burn over the chorus, excellent. I prefer the lead work in this. The offering that Kurt gives us in this is much improved than the generic stuff that I felt in the previous song. So I really feel like it's got a bit more heart, a bit more feeling about it. I really enjoyed that element of the song. However, much of the same as the previous song, a little bit of a disappointment.
Smile as it burns to the ground. The perfect don't want you around. Question yourself, you may learn. You are the witch, you must burn. You must burn.
So People track 6 gives us Lux Eterna, and this is exactly what we need at this point in this album, an injection of pace, an injection of energy. So probably by Metallica, really good album arrangement to put this song in at this point in the album, with the previous 2 songs, in my opinion, really killing any of the early momentum this album had built. The opening riff really gives me some Kill 'Em All vibes. I really like it. I just feel back to my original point that if the guitar sound had been a little bit heavier, a little bit rawer, it would have really amplified the coolness of that riff. I feel the lead work is a little bit underwhelming again on this. However, on the whole, a really enjoyable song. I think this song really benefits from a much shorter play length of just under 4 minutes long. Most of the other songs previously on this album have been 5, 6, 7 minutes long, so I really think this benefits this track of a small injection of pace and energy that this album was crying out for at this point.
Lux Eterna.
Crown of Barbed Wire. Now this song, I was full of hope and expectation the way this song opens in quite a chunky, sort of fast-paced way, but then it drops into a slower melodic riff, which initially I was quite disappointed with. However, the riff is quite chunky and bounces along quite nicely. I really enjoy it. Again, I think a chunkier guitar tone would have really amplified that riff though. I do, however, I have mixed opinions about Hetfield's vocals through this. I feel that in the verses his vocals sound a bit strained and aren't quite complementing the riff underneath. However, on the chorus itself, where he's wrestling the words Crown of Barbed Wire out, I think it sounds absolutely brilliant. Great performance on the choruses by Hetfield. Again, I feel the lead's a little bit underwhelming. On the whole, a solid song. I wanted a continuation of the fast pace that Lux Eterna brought to the album, but again, they chose to go into a more melodic, slower paced route. So, people, track 8 brings us Chasing Light. And we had to wait till the 8th track of the album for Hetfield to give us a, ooh, I'm disappointed in you, James. However, this song starts in very similar fashion to the previous song. And I really thought they were going to go in the same formula and sort of same style of song. However, they did not, which I was more than happy with. We get a far more up-tempo riff. Really, really like that. I think Hetfield's vocals are exceptional on this. There's a bit of a heavier tone to them with that sort of heavy screeched hook at the end on the verses. Really, really like that. Really enjoy this song start to finish. It's got a nice punchy tempo that keeps you infused in the song all the way through. I think the lead work is decent from Kirk, albeit a little generic in places. However, I think better than previous offerings in this album. On the whole, a worthy addition to the album and much enjoyed.
There's no light!
So, track 9 brings us to If Darkness Had a Sun. And this song builds nicely from the beginning into a head bobby, nice crunchy riff. It then transfers into a chuggy riff where Hetfield's vocals are, for me, a tiny bit mellow over the top, but I think they work quite nicely. However, it is at this point when the chorus kicks in, and I'm really not a fan of it. I don't enjoy Hetfield's vocal delivery on this. I think it's quite mellow and weak, and I'm really not feeling the riff underneath it. For me, the chorus is a no. On the flip side of that, I enjoyed the lead work in this. I thought it was quite good in comparison to some of the other offerings on it. For me, it's a very mediocre entry onto this album.
It's your eyes, it's black as sorrow. Hide yourselves behind tomorrow. The nightmare suns for infiltration, domination, captivation.
People, we are too far gone. And I've not even had a drink yet today. This is track 10. So for me, immediately I get quite old school vibes from this song with the riff. It's up pace, up tempo. It's driving the song forward. I really, really like it. I really like the way Hetfield's vocals stutter into the verses as well. Really enjoy that. However, similar to the previous song, I really don't like the clean vocals into the chorus. However, he manages to just about save it at the end. There's a fast bit of chugging on the guitar, and then he drops it into no, and then it kicks back in with that old school type riff. Really enjoyed that. I thought the lead work was really enjoyable as well. It wasn't overstated, it wasn't too much, it felt very natural and fitted the song nicely. Overall, a welcome entry.
Am I too far gone?
approaching the final few tracks of 72 Seasons, and Metallica serve up Room of Mirrors. For me, this starts off fast-paced with a thrashy riff and continues in that vein all the way through. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think Hetfield's vocals are on point. The riffs are fast, they're cutting. I enjoy it start to finish. Lead work's great. I love there's a bit of harmonising with the guitars and then it drops into that heavy riff. Awesome. Really enjoyed it start to finish. More than worthy addition to this album. So people, the final track of Metallica's 72 Seasons is the 11-minute Inamorata. Now I'm sure I've completely butchered that name as I have no idea how to pronounce it. However, let's get on to the song. For me, this track is completely unnecessary. It adds very little to this album at all, other than extending the long playtime of this album as it is to around, I think, 77 minutes. As I said, 11 minutes long and adds absolutely nothing to this album. Is completely unnecessary. In my opinion, it's slow, it's melodic, it's stodgy. It just goes nowhere, this song. I mean, the middle section where it breaks down and it's all melancholy and mellow with the clean vocals, it does nothing for me, especially that section of the song. But the song in general absolutely does nothing for me and adds nothing to this album and is not the finale that I was hoping for from this album.
She needs me, but I need her more. She loves me, but I love her more. She kills me, but I end this war.
Okay, people, that was Metallica's 72 Seasons. For me, far too long. 77 minutes. I mean, that final track, scrap it straight off the bat. But there's other stuff that we could have condensed songs to make them a little bit more compact and a little bit more tidy than the drawn out things that they were. Certain songs felt a little filler. The guitar tone, as I have mentioned, not for me. I want something a bit heavier, a bit chunkier, something a bit more heavyweight that's got a bit more bite. It's a little bit more raw. Some of those riffs really could have benefited from a heavier tone, in my opinion. I really enjoyed Hetfield's vocals at points. I thought he's put out probably one of his best vocal performances in a number of years. Now, some of the lead work from Kirk was slightly underwhelming. There were elements that I really enjoyed that I thought sounded really natural and fitted the song really well. On the whole, some really enjoyable tracks and some riffage in there that I enjoyed. I come away from this album slightly underwhelmed. So people, all that is left for the Metal Claw to do is give 72 Seasons by Metallica the Metal Claw rating. The Metal Claw rating works on a scale of 1 to 5. 1 being absolute garbage. 5, the Gold Claw, the gold standard, the best that you can get in metal music. So, Metallica, 72 seasons, Metal Claw rating of 3. This album, I come away from it a little bit underwhelmed, hence the Metal Claw rating of 3. So it's in the middle, it's good, it's not blowing me away. So all that is left to do, people, is get your claws in there, your claws in there, your claws in there. And if you're feeling extra saucy, tickle my bell for notifications of when I upload. Metal Claw out.